Welcome to week 3 Wednesday yoga. My name is Molly Douglas and I will be doing your yoga group today, as with the last few weeks as well. So whether you're joining now or joining later, this yoga is about relaxation. It's about finding your breath to be in the present moment and allowing yourself to move out of any heightened emotions that you're feeling within or around you. There's a lot of hyperarousal right now with thoughts, rushing thoughts, running thoughts, survival emotions, as well as we have some really strong, powerful, super full moon energy, intense energy going on right now. So as we begin to gather and make yourself comfortable where you are, and I'm going to make myself comfortable where I am, you're invited to have some materials close by that you can start your yoga practice with just noticing. So I like taking the first few minutes, and as we do this in the live class, I do this to let people kind of gather and come from wherever they're coming from work or whatever. And it all just gives us time and space to be. And really that's what's being called right now, is just to be. And the mind can tell us to do, right? We gotta do this, we gotta be productive, we gotta have this, and this going. And it can feel very off balanced. And the energy that's coming in right now is helping create balance to that do and just be. So I'm inviting you for this next hour to allow yourself to just be with whatever's coming to the surface for you, whatever emotions or thoughts, giving them a place to go that can be contained, like a notebook, a journal, or a piece of paper. And then as we continue to move and find some gentle movement throughout the yoga practice and continue to connect to breath, it's all invitational. This yoga is based off of trauma-sensitive yoga principles. It's about integrating the mind space with the body, and it allows the breath to anchor you here in the present moment and get out of the head and back down to the body. And it allows you to connect to the body as a resource to feel and to notice what feels pleasant, to what feels comfortable. Everything is invitational, so I give suggestions and options, but you do what feels best to you. That's why it's your yoga practice. If anything feels unpainful or unpleasant, you always have the choice to ease out of it and into something that does feel better for you. All right. So you're welcome to become aware of your space. Just noticing the space around you. Noticing how you feel comfortable, where you feel comfortable. Giving yourself just a moment. And you can place one hand on the heart center and one hand on the abdomen. As we place the hands on the body, you can feel the hands on the body, and it allows us to just be in the present moment right now. So I invite you just to take a breath. Noticing any body sensations, any thoughts, any feelings. Giving yourself a couple minutes and find a color that best connects to that for you, or best represents that for you. Just noticing. That's all we're doing. Just noticing. Notice you're using the line, shape, color, and form to just notice. It doesn't have to look like anything. It's not about the end picture. It's not about making it look like something you already have in your head. It's not thinking about what it should look like. It comes from a different place. It comes from the intelligence of the heart center. It comes from the present moment. So just taking a few moments before we get started. And as you do something in the present moment, and as you give a voice to whatever you're feeling, if it's worries, if it's thoughts, if it's doubts, if it's insecurities, if it is overwhelming anxiety, confusion, frustration, anger, whatever it is, being able to express it in a safe and healthy way allows it a place to go, so it doesn't have to continue to stir around or to ruminate as we continue to move through our process. And if you allow yourself to explore through line, shape, and color without judgment, if possible, put that inner critic outside or outside your door if it comes on. If you have feelings about not feeling creative enough, just allow it to have some space, or just write some words if you really can't move with the image. To move out an image, just write down some words that you're noticing. Could be noticing physically, noticing emotionally, physically noticing in your space, whatever wants to surface or wants your attention right now. You don't have to understand it. It might be a word or a phrase. And then you just set it aside. So as soon as you feel ready, you're invited to come to a close with your awareness. Put your drawing or writing materials to the side. Begin to find your way in a comfortable seated form that feels best to you. And you can have your legs crossed, stacked on top of one another, or you can have one leg in front of the other, or you can sit back on your heels as another option. But just find what works best to you. You might want a pillow or blanket to sit on to raise the elevation of the hips higher than the knees, especially if you have any discomfort in the hips. And you can begin by allowing yourself to enter your space. And as we enter our space, we're allowing ourselves to be fully present. So one way to do that is to use your senses. You're invited to begin to just notice what you see around your space. Allowing your eyes to just gaze over the surface, noticing what stands out to you in this present moment. It might be color or pattern or texture. Just noticing from a place of observation. You can notice with your hands, with sensation of touch, any textures around you, any temperatures. Just noticing noticing that sense of touch, that sense of feel. And then if you'd like, you can gently close your eyes or lower the gaze of your eyes, noticing what your ears hear. Just allowing the sense of sound to move into your space. And with whatever it is, might be sounds outside your space or your room or your house, your building. And then you might become aware of sounds closer to you. Maybe even hearing the music or your breath. Inviting your awareness to move to the head, to any thoughts that you may have right now. Just noticing them, observing them, without attachment if available, without the story or without the reaction, but just notice them more as thoughts, kind of like clouds passing in the sky. They're there, but they don't have to stay. And our thoughts will continue to take us away or distract us from where we want to be. We tend to be very distracted, and especially right now with all the adjustments and the changes, that even creates another layer of keeping us in our head or our mind. So just noticing any thoughts that you're currently having, inviting that awareness. And then as you feel ready, bring yourself into your breath. And you can even gather all parts of you back. And you can use your hands to do this. Sometimes creating the motion feels really pleasant, but gathering yourself back from where you've given your time, your energy, your attention, from the things that you've seen today, from the things that you've done, from where you've had to give your thoughts, your words, your attention. Energetically, we give ourselves out, so just gathering all parts of you back to self, back to center, and back to your breath. And breathe in and out the nose or in and out the mouth. There's no right or wrong way to breathe. Allowing that breath to anchor you here to the present moment. Anytime your mind wanders, anytime you become distracted, anytime your mind takes you away from where you want to be. So breath moving in and breath moving out, however it chooses to be. You're invited to become aware of the sensation of breath as it moves in the nose or in the mouth. Maybe even noticing sensation of breath along the tip of the nose or the nostrils. With each inhale and each exhale, just feeling that sensation of breath. It might be tingling, it might be cool, whatever it is, it's okay. Just noticing. You might even be able to feel that along the roof of your mouth as you breathe in. Along the roof of the mouth or along the soft palate. As you inhale and as you exhale, inviting that awareness to just continue down through the throat, the esophagus, anywhere else you're feeling or noticing that sensation of breath. As we continue to drop from the headspace, from our thoughts, just allowing our awareness to move to our breath, move to the present moment of our breath, and continuing to drop down to the body. However you choose to breathe is okay. In and out the nose or in and out the mouth is your choice. Noticing or feeling the rhythm. A breath that might feel a little shaky, it might feel like it kind of catches in places, it might feel heavy in places and lighter in others. However it is okay. Just noticing. You don't have to do anything else but notice. Letting that awareness to continue down to the shoulders, the arms and the hands. You might even notice where those feel best to you right now. If it feels like a lot of work to hold them on the body, the hands feel like they'd rather just rest on the lap or in the lap, you can also do that. As you continue to be with your breath, you might begin to feel sensation of breath through the chest, the lungs, the rib cage. As breath exhales, you might feel the chest, the rib cage along the chest expand as you exhale. You might even feel that along the back, or you can feel it, you might feel it against your arms if you have your arms down at your side or in your lap, so just noticing. With each exhale and each inhale. As you inhale, you might feel your chest cavity expand, and as you exhale, you'll feel yourself gently kind of lengthen and elongate. You might even feel the muscles of your core center move towards the back of your spine. So as we're breathing in from our whole chest, our whole torso, allowing the whole torso to expand with the inhale. And then feeling yourself contract and feeling the muscles move back from the abdomen back towards the spine as you exhale. And you can even create the rhythm. Following the rhythm of your breath can be pleasant with just your hands. As you breathe in, your hands expand, follow that rhythm. And as you exhale, bringing the palms closer together. So just feeling into that rhythm that feels right to you. Just you, just your breath. You don't have to be in the busyness of your head, the to-dos, the worries. Just allow yourself to have this time for you. Allow yourself to have this time just to be. breath moving in and breath moving out. So it almost feels opposite than how we're used to breathing. So as we breathe in, we're going to expand, and as we exhale, we contract. And this is intentional breath, and we've been practicing this the last couple weeks too. When we use that intentional breath, it turns on the nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, so it engages the nervous system and allows our mind to move out of fight or flight and into rest and digest. And there are other levels of survival emotions as well. But it allows us to get to a place of a bigger picture, a bigger perspective, a wider perspective. We allowed our perspective to go wider in the first week of yoga, where we used the fingers out in front of our gaze and then used our peripheral vision to focus on the fingers. And so when we're feeling very heightened with arousal, as you can continue to keep your gaze forward, you notice how much that expands our vision. And when we do that, it allows the tension in the body to release. It allows the muscles to release. And when we are in a heightened state of arousal, we tend to clench everything up. Our breath becomes shorter. Our focus and our vision becomes smaller. Our mind gets stuck into what we have to prepare for, what we have to plan for, or it replays the past of scenarios and situations, or shoulds or coulds or shouldas or what ifs, or it bounces us back and forth. And it's in the present moment where we find our calm and our peace. And when we allow ourselves to have this time, I'm telling you, even when we feel like we don't have the time to give this to ourselves, when we allow ourselves the time to do this, you will have more time, you will have more space, you will have more energy, you will have more creative flow, you will have more problem-solving skills. You will be able to engage in those parts of you, of the higher wisdom, of the higher knowing, in order to see the bigger picture, to see opportunities, to see growth, rather than where fear likes to keep us stuck, where fear likes to keep us dimmed and afraid and uncapable and helpless and hopeless. When we allow ourselves to get to this place by just our breath, then we can see a bigger picture of what's going on. We can connect into our higher self and our higher knowing and feel safe and supported and held and nurtured, and allow that to be more in our daily life. So let's see, we've practiced the buzz breath, the S breath, the ratio breathing. Those were all, I think, the last couple weeks. This week, working more on sound and tone. And as we engage the parasympathetic nervous system, it's the vagus nerve is this nerve that runs from the headspace to the body, and it runs along the back of the spine. And so as we engage this vagus nerve, this is where, when we're really tight and tense, it tells our brain we need to be in a perceived threat, or that we are threatened. Even if there's no threat around us and we're feeling very anxious, very panicked, very worried, very overwhelmed, very in our head, that's a perceived threat. That's our body telling our mind that there's danger. And this is an old pattern. This is an old trauma experience, or this is an old way of emotions that goes clear back to primal, when we had to really worry about our safety and worried about our survival, right? So even when we're in a place where we are safe, where we are taken care of in the present moment, our mind can still tell us that we are in danger. So if we allow ourselves to release the tension in the muscles in the body, it tells our mind, it relaxes our mind, and it engages in a wider perspective. So as we use toning and sound, that not only shifts things energetically, but it will shift things in the mind too. So the buzz breath, the buzz that we did, created that release of the tension in the jaw and the soft palate, which also releases the tension in the root center. It connects with that vagus nerve. We can do toning and do the same thing. So the sound for toning is ooh, like ooh, I like that. It's a good way to remember it, right? So if you'd like to practice the toning with me and just notice how that feels. And these are so simple and quick. If you can do 4 rounds of these throughout your day, like if you can do 3 rounds, like do 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 1 in the evening, you might really start to experience some anxiety release if it starts to build up throughout your day, with what's going on around you or work or however that is. So the ooh breath, if you'd like to practice it with me, is we'll take a deep breath in, and on the exhale is when we'll say the ooh. And this is really a lower body. It's coming from, I want you to imagine or sense that you're really pushing the sound out from your abdomen and your diaphragm. So it feels like it's almost coming from the lower abdomen, but it's coming right from this core center. So you're pushing that sound out and allowing the sound to move out with the breath. And then we'll pause. And then we'll take another deep breath and we'll do that again. So we'll do that for 4 times, and I'll count that for you. So as you're feeling ready, and you can do this eyes open or eyes closed, completely up to you. You take a breath in. Pause. Notice any sensations before taking another deep breath in. This is our second breath. Pause. And you're really pushing that air deep out of the diaphragm. So as you push, you're just feeling that air, the breath move all the way out of the body. So number 3, take a breath in. And we'll do one more time. Take a deep breath in. Good. Just noticing any sensations, just observing. Where you feel that in the body right now, if there was any shift, and if not, that's okay too. But just continuing to notice You can go back to whatever breath feels pleasant to you, or any of the ones we practiced before with the ratio breathing, or just practicing allowing your exhale to be a little longer, which is exactly what we did with the toning. We just made that exhale really long, and that allows blood flow and oxygen to get to the right parts of our brain and out of the amygdala and out of where fight or flight, that muscle that's worked so much right now and that we tend to be in a constant state of. So we'll continue to allow ourselves to notice any sensations, feeling ourselves connected, maybe a little more to the body now after that toning, to the abdomen and the lower abdomen, feeling yourself connected to the mat and the mat connected to the floor and the floor connected to the earth. Feeling your legs underneath you and your feet. And you might pause and just feel your whole self in this present moment, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, just from a place of awareness. And if anything feels uncomfortable or painful, like if you're sitting too long and you need to switch and move a leg, you can definitely do that too as you need to. And continuing to invite that awareness inward and down. You're invited to imagine, sense, or feel extending your roots down into the floor and down into the earth. Letting those roots move down through the earth, the sand, the water, all through the nutrients and nourishment of the soils, layer by layer by layer, until you get to the heart of the earth, until you get to the heart of the planet. And you can imagine, sense, or feel your roots connecting to the heart of the earth. You're invited to imagine this heart as a beautiful, luminescent heart, like a crystal or stone, multifaceted and full of luminous energy. You're invited to let your roots connect in whatever way feels comfortable to you, knowing that that allows your heart to connect to the heart of the earth, to the heart of the planet, to all of the life source energy below or on the earth, to the animals, the plants, the oceans, the trees, the minerals, the forests, the fruits, the vegetables. Feel your roots expand as far out as they want to go, and to connect to all of that life source energy, knowing that that can re-nourish, replenish, and fill up your cup by breathing up and bringing up that life source energy up through your roots, up to your heart center. And that can even extend out into each arm and out into each hand. Breathing in and breathing up, even with just intention of breathing up that life source energy from below, all the way to the top of the head, to the crown center. And that can even rainbow or spill out around you, filling your space with that life source energy. You're invited to feel in to that connection, feeling yourself rooted, grounded, and connected, knowing that not only can you bring up life source energy up through these roots, but you can also send down anything you're ready to let go of, anything you're ready to release, anything you're ready to recycle. Mother Earth is a really great recycler, so we can send down any tension, stress, worries, anything that's in the present moment or distracts you or keeps taking yourself away from where you want to be. The mind keeps distracting you. If it's something that's not serving you in this very moment, you're invited to notice where you're feeling that in the body. And as if Mother Nature's heart is a big, beautiful magnet, you're invited to allow her to draw that out, to move that out of your space. Or you can just gently use the hands with intention to give back to the earth, to recycle anything you're ready to let go and release. Just with intention and vision, we can transmute and transform all of our energy. So connecting, releasing, and inviting that energy to move up and around you. You might see this as a luminescent grid or light bubble of energy that can come up around you and connect to whatever life source energy above, to the sun, the moon, the stars, inviting that to move down through the top of the head, the crown center, behind the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the throat, the higher heart, and the heart center. Expanding that out into each arm and out into each hand, which is our extensions of our heart center. And you can do that a few times, bringing that up. This is your space, your energy. You are creating this boundary with your hands. You're connecting to the life source energy above that aligns with you as this luminescent ball of light and love. Inviting that to move down through you, around you, down the front of the torso, down the back of the spine. We can even extend out through the back of the arms, the wings, out into the hands. Or you can just use the movement. This is also called a sun salutation, a seated sun salutation, where we allow our hands to move up beside us, connect up above, and pull down through the center. It's a seated sun salutation. So you can take this at whatever level feels best to you, with just the movement and intention, or you can visualize in to those feelings that feel pleasant and comfortable to you. If you'd like to use creativity and envisioning in to that visualization, that is always a choice. So just go what feels right to you and go with that. So taking a moment, feeling yourself connected above and below. We'll begin to create some gentle movement through the neck and the head, as that's always a place for stress. You might begin to just gently drop the head towards the shoulder, noticing any sensations down the opposite side of the neck. You might even create a gentle touch by letting the fingertips gently press on the outside. You can also push down through the palm of your hand towards the floor to lengthen that stretch. Breathing in and breathing out. Coming back to center as you feel ready. Moving to the other side. Same thing. Letting the hand assist if you'd like. Even pressing down through the palm to lengthen out that stretch. Only stretching as far as feels comfortable to you. If anything feels unpleasant or painful, ease out of the form and into something that does feel better for you. You're invited to drop the chin towards the chest and create a gentle rocking from shoulder to shoulder. Noticing any sensation along the back of the neck. You might just pause and be with the breath if something feels pleasant towards the side. Or you can find that gentle movement from side to side. Breathing. Exhaling out any tension, any stress. Letting the head move back up to center as you feel ready. You can always engage the fingertips, creating a gentle sense of touch. Touch is really important, and if it's something that feels pleasant to you, you can explore giving yourself a gentle massage or gentle comfort along the back of the neck. Anywhere there's tension or tightness, all up along the top of the spine, to the base of the skull. Exploring with the fingertips, anywhere that feels pleasant to you. All the pressure points back along the base of the skull, up behind the ears. There's no right or wrong, just allowing the intuitiveness of the body, of the fingertips to explore wherever that feels pleasant to you, wherever you're guided, along the ears. The earlobes. You might even find yourself yawning. This is all signs of energy, stuck energy moving when we yawn, when we cough, when we take big sighs and deep breaths. Because as we exhale, we remove toxins. And as we create touch, it creates gentle massages along lymph nodes and glands, but also nerve endings that are connected to body organs. That's why, like acupuncture, acupressure, the ears, the face. You can lift the chin up towards the ceiling using the fingertips along the facial muscles, the cheekbones, the sinuses. Pausing anywhere that feels pleasant to you. You don't have to be thinking or questioning anything, just feeling, intuitively guiding, noticing from a place of awareness, curiosity, and if available, non-judgment. That's a big one, right? Not judging ourselves, not to asking ourselves, or not doing it right, not doing it enough, feels weird. All those things we like to judge ourselves for. Just noticing from a place of non-judgment if it's available, all the way up to the top of the head, to the crown center. Especially that place right where the two hemispheres connect. We have the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. You can use your fingertips or fingernails. Just notice, use a pressure that feels pleasant to you. But right where these two connect, this mohawk strip, and I always forget the name of what it's called, but it's where the integration comes together of both hemispheres. And this is the integration that allows for balance. And that's what we're doing right now, right? We're integrating. We're integrating the head and the heart. We're integrating the energies. Finding that place of balance. Because we need both, but one can't really be in charge more than the other. It can become very off balance. So continuing to just feel into what feels right to you on the side of the head, and even just noticing the head different than thoughts can feel really pleasant. And we'll continue to stretch and move down through the body, lifting the shoulders up towards the ears and back down. You can create some shoulder shrugs or shoulder circles as we continue to stretch through this yoga practice. And you have lots of choices. You can move one at a time, you can move both, or you can alternate. So just noticing any sensations. We get a lot of tightness through our collarbone and through our back of our shoulder blades, especially if we're seated a lot. If we're sitting all day, it can get really tight. We can get really hunched over and round. So just noticing what it feels like to open up the shoulder blades and drop the shoulders from the ears. Noticing what that feels like down through here. Breath moving in. You might even want to lift the chin a little bit. You might even experiment with creating some movement with the head, lifting the chin as you come up and pull the shoulders down. And as you round, you can always drop the chin towards the chest. As we start to begin to stimulate that vagus nerve some more. You can also create this into some cat and cow stretches. Opening up, dropping the chin and tailbone down, and around the back in cat. You can always place the hands on the knees before rolling back up, lifting the chin and tailbone and arching the back, letting the shoulder blades move together. Breath moving in and breath moving out. If you'd like to create some breath and movement together, one option is to breathe in as you come up, as you arch and come up, and to exhale as you round and come down. But you can do whatever feels best to you. So you can stick with that. If you want to make the movements a little bigger, you can always place the hands out in front of you. Let the fingertips rest on the shoulder and circle with the elbows. You're still opening up through that heart center, and you can still do that same thing. Rocking back and forth on your sits bones or on the tailbone as you round and come down, and as you open and come up. Noticing any sensations through the back of the spine, through the collarbone, the shoulder blades. You can always reverse that. You can also create some gentle movement down through the lower back, the hips, creating some gentle circles. You're just doing the same cat and cow form as you arch and come back, but now just kind of moving out to the side before rolling back into cat stretch, and then out to the other side. So it creates some gentle side stretches as well as front and back. So you're rounding as you come back, and you're expanding and opening as you come forward. And you can make these as little or as big as you want to, or as you are, whatever feels right to you in this moment. And you might choose to go one way for a few minutes and then try the other way. Noticing any sensation. We can get really tense and tight through our lower abdomen, through our sacral, through the back of the hips. This is where we hold our feelings. This is where we hold creativity. This is where we hold other people's feelings and emotions. really tight and sore. Also, if we sit a lot all day, or sitting in comfortable chairs. So continuing to move that stretch. If you have been sitting quite a bit today, I probably want to get up and move more. So you can always move this up into tabletop form, the same one we've been practicing the last couple weeks. Allowing the knees to move under the hips and the wrist under the shoulders. Keeping that gentle stretch through the back, letting the chin and tailbone come up as you arch through the back, and then reversing that, letting the chin and tailbone come down as you round through the back. With breath moving in and breath moving out. Again, you can choose to pause and just be with the breath wherever that feels pleasant. You can even stretch out through the side, same thing as we did seated. You can stick with just the cat and cow stretch, or you can always find your way back into child's form by sitting back on the heels and letting the hands rest out in front of you, or stacking one fist on top of the other to support the neck and head. Letting the chest rest on top of the legs or in between the legs. You can always angle out the knees as another choice. So just noticing what feels comfortable to you, what feels right to you. You can choose to stay with the cat and cow. You can always bring in the balancing form that we practiced last week by extending a leg behind and even including the opposite hand, engaging in those core muscles, engaging in the opposite arm and hand. So just notice what shape the body wants to move, how much it wants to move, and go with that. There are lots of forms you can practice from tabletop. I think we also did the thread the needle last week by letting the arm move under the hand and letting the head and shoulder rest on the floor, using that opposite hand for support, or you can gently place it back behind and rest on the lower back. With breath moving in and breath moving out. Continuing to let that breath anchor you here. Anytime your mind has wandered. You can always find your way back up to center and to the other side anytime that feels right to you. Noticing any sensation down the back of the spine, through the shoulder. Breath moving in and breath moving out. and assist you back up into tabletop. And if you'd like to move into another form before rest form, you can curl the toes under, moving up into downward dog, placing the pressure evenly in the bottom of both palms and spreading the fingertips, allowing your hips to press up towards the ceiling. You might pedal gently back and forth, stretching out through the back of the leg into downward dog. Noticing any sensations of breath. Pedaling through each leg, or you can press down through both heels, pressing down through both hands. You can bend the knees if you'd like, or keep them straight, whatever feels best to you. And then eventually, as you're ready, bending the knees and finding your way back into child's form. From the neck and head by creating some gentle yeses and gentle nos. Releasing anything that's ready to release. Finding your way into child's form if you haven't already. Resting on top of the legs or letting the chest rest in between the legs. You're invited to find a comfortable way to be where you don't have to be doing anything. Just you, just your breath. Breath moving in and breath moving out. Continuing to let your breath bring you back to the present moment anytime your mind has wandered. Eventually, as you feel ready, lifting your head, neck, and shoulders, finding yourself back into tabletop and coming around to lying down. You're welcome to continue to keep your knees bent and letting your hands assist you in lying back onto your mat or the floor. You're welcome to just notice the awareness of your feet on the floor, your back, your shoulders, and your head. Letting your hands continue to rest on the rib cage or to move out into a T formation, inviting the knees to move in the opposite direction into a supine twist. And if you'd like an option for your head, you can gently gaze out towards your opposite hand of your knees. In your own time, finding your way back to center and over to the other side. Now, as you feel ready, inviting yourself back to center, and we'll move into our last form, into rest pose, or rest form, or shavasana, where you can continue to lie on your back or on your side, or in whatever form feels best to you to spend the last few minutes of your yoga practice. So take a few moments, make yourself comfortable. You might even want to put your sweater back on or find a blanket or an eye pillow. You can also push yourself up against the wall or a chair and letting the feet rest either on the wall or on the seat of the chair or couch. If there's any uncomfortable, if anything's unpleasant or uncomfortable, you can always try a pillow up underneath your hips to make that more pleasant. You're invited to become aware of what muscles you don't have to be using for these next few moments. Maybe starting with your feet or your legs, and gently letting the knees fall to the side, and letting the feet gently roll to the side. Next, notice your hands. You might just kind of gently rock them back and forth until they fall naturally to where they want to. Just letting gravity take place and letting the tension in the muscles release. Next, letting the awareness move to the head. You might even gently move the head from side to side until it comes to stop at center. Feeling the tension in the muscle from the head release. Next, bringing your awareness to the front of the torso, the chest, the abdomen. Anywhere you're still noticing any tension, you're invited to breathe into the front of the body and release the tension from any remaining muscles. Inviting that awareness to the back of the body, breathing into the back of the body, anywhere you're still holding any tension and the muscles, breathing into those, and release. Releasing the tension from the whole back of the body. Your whole body should feel like the tension is released. Anywhere that you're still holding any tightness, with each exhale, just letting the tension in the muscles release even softer. Breath moving in and breath moving out. You might begin to deepen your breath, creating some gentle movement in your fingers and your toes. You might begin to move the wrists and the ankles. Gently bending the knees and slowly finding your way over to your side. Taking a few moments and letting your head rest on your arm and your knees up towards your chest. You're invited to notice your breath, feeling the floor beneath you, support you, hold you, and cradle you. And then eventually, as you feel ready, inviting the hands to help assist in pressing you back up into seated form. You might pause here a moment, continuing to keep the eyes closed or the gaze lowered. And just reflect and notice if there's been any change or shift since the beginning of your practice. Maybe in your thoughts, maybe in your feelings, maybe in your body sensations or your breath. And if not, that's okay too. You're welcome to move back into your creative expression, finding colors or words that best represent how you feel now. Taking a few moments in this reflective space to create awareness just for yourself, not for anybody else, but just for yourself. To be able to go back and give how you're feeling now some awareness. So you can always just start with the color that stands out to you the most, and just start moving it out on the page however it wants to be. There's no right or wrong. You might notice some shapes or some forms that stand out to you, or as you continue to move color and line and shape, you might begin to find some words. So as we allow our awareness to move out through a different lens besides our head space, or allow it to move out in the present moment, we can then bring the head back on. The words, the thoughts, maybe the words mean something to you, maybe they just describe the image to you. They also might represent how you feel in your body and that connection and that awareness. And this is just a practice that allows you to be present, to feel those sensations. If anything feels unpleasant, you can always continue to do whatever feels best for you to balance that out. And of course, if you ever have any questions, any concerns, or need some additional support, you can reach out to me, message me with anything. So thank you so much for being a part. I'll just share mine. It doesn't have to be much. It can just be a few lines. It can take a few seconds, but it just allows awareness, and that's all we're doing is creating awareness. Awareness happens in the present moment. Awareness allows our higher self and higher thinking to come on. Awareness allows for the bigger picture and to see the opportunities, the growth. And when we allow ourselves that reflection, that inward reflection, connected below the noise and the noise of the head lens, fears, the worries, the doubt, the anxiety, the panic, the what ifs, the to-dos, everything that our head likes to keep us busy with. When we allow ourselves to hear below the noise, to the heart lens, to that place of noticing, curiosity, interest, observing, we hear and connect to the higher parts of self. So thank you so much for being a part of this yoga practice. Thank you for being a part of this group. And thank you for letting me be a part of it with you. I hope whatever pleasant feelings you are able to experience throughout this session, you're able to take with you throughout the rest of your day, throughout the rest of your evening, your week, and your weekend. know that how we feel, what we think, what we say, all has impact. And it really can shift our vibration when we move out of the noise of the head space and into the heart space. And that creates a ripple for others to feel the same way. So thank you so much for being a part of this. The light in you honors the light in me. Thank you so much. Namaste.